She texted, "I'm keeping the ring. Consider it payment for wasting my time." After calling off our engagement, I replied, "Fair enough." Then I sent her a bill for $25,000. The ring's true value she'd have to pay taxes on as income. Her panicked call came at midnight. I, 42, male, was engaged to Brittany, 38, for 8 months, together for 3 years total. The engagement ended 2 weeks ago when she decided I wasn't ambitious enough. After I turned down a job offer that would have required relocating across the country and working 80-hour weeks, she broke it off via text while I was at my nephew's birthday party. "This isn't working. You clearly don't want the same things I do. I need someone who matches my drive. We're done. I'm keeping the ring as payment for 3 years of my time you wasted. Don't contact me." I read it twice, put my phone away, and enjoyed the rest of the party. My 7-year-old nephew doesn't need his birthday ruined by adult drama. That evening, I texted back, "Fair enough. Best of luck." She responded, "That's it. 3 years and all you say is fair enough." I didn't reply, but I did make a phone call to my accountant buddy, Roger. "Hey, quick tax question. If someone keeps an engagement ring after breaking off the engagement and explicitly states it's payment for time spent in the relationship, that's taxable income, right?" Roger laughed. "Oh, absolutely. If she's calling it payment, that's compensation for services. She just converted a gift into income. Why? Just curious. Talk soon." The ring cost me $25,000. I'd saved for 2 years, worked overtime, skipped vacations. It was a 2.5-carat diamond solitaire from a high-end jeweler. I had it appraised and insured, so I had all the paperwork. 3 days after the breakup, I sent Brittany an email. "Per your text stating, the ring is payment for your time. I'm providing you with appropriate documentation for tax purposes. The ring's appraised value is $25,000. As this is now compensation rather than a gift, you'll need to report this as income on your taxes. I've copied my attorney and accountant for records. You should receive a 1099 MISK by January 31st. Attached were the appraisal documents, insurance paperwork, and her own text message screenshot where she called it payment. Her call came at 11:53 p.m. Update 1. The midnight meltdown was just the beginning. When I answered her call, she was screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "What the hell is this? You can't make me pay taxes on my ring. It's not your ring, Brittany. According to your own words, it's payment for services rendered. That makes it income. Services. I wasn't a prostitute. I didn't say you were. You said the ring was payment for your time. The IRS doesn't care what kind of time. Payment is payment. This is ridiculous. It's an engagement ring. Was an engagement ring until you declared it payment. Your words, not mine." She hung up. 20 minutes later, her best friend Melissa called. "You need to stop this petty BS with Brittany. What's petty about following tax law? You're seriously going to make her pay thousands in taxes over a ring you gave her?" "I gave her an engagement ring. She kept payment for services. There's a legal difference." "You're such an ass." "I'm an ass who follows tax code." The next morning, Brittany showed up at my house with her brother Tony, who's apparently a pre-law student. He's been saying that for 6 years. Tony tried to sound official. "What you're doing constitutes fraud and harassment." I pulled out my phone and played the voice memo I'd started recording. "Tony, are you providing legal advice? Because last I checked, you're not a lawyer. That's illegal." His face went red. "I'm just saying you're just leaving both of you. Brittany, any further communication goes through lawyers." "I don't have a lawyer," she screeched. "Sounds like a you problem." As they were leaving, Tony muttered something about me being a pathetic loser trying to act tough. I called out, "Hey, Tony, how's that Ellis prep going? 6 years is a long time to study for one test." Brittany had to physically drag him away. That afternoon, she tried a different approach. Posted on social media, "Some men can't handle rejection. My ex is literally trying to extort money from me over an engagement ring he gave me. This is financial abuse. Share. If you think toxic men who weaponize money are the worst." My sister saw it and called me. "Bro, she's trying to roast you online. Let her. I have receipts. You're not going to respond? Nope. My tax attorney will handle any necessary responses. Update 2. Brittany's entitlement reached new heights when she realized I was serious about the 1099. First, she sent her mom, Deborah. This woman showed up at my office during lunch. We need to talk about this situation with Brittany. No, we don't. Please leave. She's crying every day. You're destroying her over a ring. I'm following tax law. She chose to keep payment instead of returning a conditional gift. Conditional. You asked her to marry you and she said no. In this state, engagement rings are conditional gifts. She could have returned it, but she chose to keep it as payment. That has tax implications. Deborah's face turned purple. You're really going to make her pay $8,000 in taxes? I'm not making her do anything. The IRS is talk to them. You're ruining her life over pride. She ruined our engagement over ambition. Guess we're even. She stormed out, but not before telling my receptionist I was a pathetic man who can't handle rejection. My receptionist, Janet, 65, takes no BS, replied, "Ma'am, he seems to be handling it just fine. You're the one making a scene." But Brittany wasn't done. She hired a tax consultant from Craigslist who sent me the most hilarious letter. Dear Sir, the ring in question was a gift of love, not payment for rendered services. My client demands you cease this fraudulent claim immediately or face serious consequences. It was signed by Robert Richardson, tax consultant with a Gmail address. My actual tax attorney responded, Mr. Richardson, please provide your PTIN, prepare tax identification number and credentials. Also, please note that falsely representing yourself as qualified to provide tax advice is a federal offense. Never heard from Robert again. Then Brittany tried to get clever. She texted me from a new number. What if I just return the ring? Then it's not payment. Too late. You already declared a payment and took possession with that intent. The taxable event occurred. This is blackmail. This is tax law. Google constructive receipt doctrine. I'll sell it and leave the country. Good luck. Make sure to report the sale on your taxes, too. Capital gains are also taxable. She called me every name in the book. I screenshot everything and forwarded it to my lawyer. Update 3. The IRS doesn't play and Brittany was learning that the hard way. She tried to return the ring to the jewelry store. The manager called me because I was listed on the insurance paperwork. Sir, your ex-fiancé is here trying to return a ring, claiming you approved it. I didn't. The ring is hers now. She declared it as payment for services. I could hear Brittany screaming in the background. Tell him I changed my mind. The manager was professional. Ma'am, without his authorization, I cannot process this return. She left screaming about lawsuits. Next, she tried selling it to various pawn shops and cash for gold places. But when they asked for documentation, she had to show the appraisal, which had my name on it as the purchaser. Most required a police report proving it wasn't stolen. She actually filed a police report claiming I gave her the ring, then was extorting her. The detective called me, Sir, can you explain the situation? I emailed him the entire text chain, including her declaring it payment. He called back laughing. So, she admitted in writing it's payment, and now she's mad about taxes. Pretty much this is a civil matter. Tell her to get a tax attorney. Meanwhile, Brittany's financial situation was unraveling. See, she'd been living beyond her means for years, assuming we'd get married and combine finances. She'd racked up credit card debt, planning our dream wedding before I even proposed. Her mom called me again. She's getting eviction notices. She can't pay rent because she's saving for the taxes. Have you no heart? She could sell the ring. She'll take a huge loss. That's what happens when you keep property you can't afford. This is cruel. This is consequences. But the best part came when Brittany tried to get her actual tax preparer involved. She went to H&R Block LOL and demanded they fix this. The tax preparer called me with Brittany's permission recorded. Sir, I'm trying to understand. Your ex-fiancé says you're falsely claiming she owes taxes on a gift, not a gift. She explicitly stated in writing it was payment for her time. I have the texts. Oh. Oh dear. Ma'am, if you classified it as payment, that is taxable income. I could hear Brittany, but it's a ring. The preparer. The IRS doesn't care what form payment takes. Income is income. Brittany stormed out screaming about incompetent tax people. Update 4. Brittany's extinction burst. Yes, I know that term is overused, but it fits here. Was spectacular. She organized what she called a protest outside my house. Her mom, her brother, and 3 friends with signs. Financial abuser lives here. Real men don't weaponize love. Karma is coming. My neighbor, Vietnam vet Bill, 73, walked out with his garden hose. You kids got a permit for this assembly? It's a free country, Tony shouted. Sure is. Free for me to water my lawn, too. He started spraying. They scattered. Brittany tried to grab his hose and got absolutely drenched. Bill looked at me watching from my window and gave a thumbs up. But Brittany's biggest mistake was yet to come. She went on a local morning show segment about financial abuse in relationships. They didn't vet her story properly. She went on live TV and told her sob story about her abusive ex using the IRS to control her. The host was eating it up until they went to commercial and their legal consultant Googled the situation. When they came back, the host's tone had changed. So Brittany, just to clarify, you kept the ring and explicitly called it payment. Well, yes, but and now you're upset about the tax implications of that decision. He's weaponizing. Did you consult a tax attorney before declaring a payment? I didn't think. Right. Well, folks, this is why we always recommend consulting professionals before making financial decisions. They cut to weather. The segment never made it to their online archive, but someone had recorded it. It went viral on TikTok with the caption, "Woman learns what taxes are on live TV." The memes were glorious. Brittany's shocked face with "when keeping it real goes wrong." IRS has entered the chat. Tell me you don't understand taxes without telling me. Her influencer dreams died that day. She went from 5K followers to 300. Update 5. January 31st came and went. I sent the 1099 MISK as promised. Brittany tried one last Hail Mary. She hired an actual lawyer this time. Elizabeth Hartley. Elizabeth called me directly. Mr. Thompson, I've reviewed this situation. While my client's actions were ill-advised, surely we can come to an agreement. Sure, she can pay the taxes. She's prepared to return the ring. Doesn't matter. The taxable event already occurred. This is punitive. This is legal. She declared a payment. I'm required to issue a 1099 for payments over $600. Elizabeth sighed, "You're really going to die on this hill." I'm going to follow tax law on this hill. She can't afford the taxes. She can sell the ring. She'll lose thousands. Should have thought of that before declaring a payment. There was a long pause. Then Elizabeth said, "You know what? You're right." She made her bed. I'll advise her to sell the ring and pay the taxes. But Brittany didn't want to hear that. She fired Elizabeth and decided to handle it herself. She didn't file her taxes. By June, she got a letter from the IRS. Not only did she owe the original taxes on the $25,000, but now there were penalties and interest. Her mom called me one more time. She's having to sell her car. Are you happy? I'm indifferent. This was all avoidable. How can you be so cold? How can she be so entitled? Deborah hung up. Final update. Last week, I ran into Brittany at a coffee shop. She was with some guy who looked about 25 wearing a suit that screamed, "Daddy's money." She saw me and turned white. The guy asked if she was okay. "That's my ex," she whispered, but loud enough for me to hear. The guy looked at me. "The one who made you pay taxes." I didn't make her do anything. She made a choice. Brittany grabbed his arm. "Let's go, Bradley." Bradley, of course, stood up. "You know, you're a real piece of work making her suffer like that." She kept a $25,000 ring and called it payment. I just made sure the IRS knew it was a gift, not according to her own words. I pulled out my phone and showed him the screenshot of her payment for wasting my time text. Bradley's face changed. He looked at Brittany. "You said he was lying about that part." Bradley, it's complicated. You told me he fabricated evidence. This is your text. You don't understand. I understand you lied to me. He walked out. Brittany stood there, mouth open. You just ruined another relationship. She hissed at me. You ruined it by lying. I just showed him the truth. I hate you. Your feelings about me don't matter. Pay your taxes. She stormed out crying. The barista who'd witnessed everything gave me a free coffee. That was beautiful, man. Yesterday, I got a notification from my lawyer. Brittany had finally sold the ring for $18,000 and paid the IRS what she owed, including penalties. Total cost to her, approximately $11,000 in taxes and penalties, plus the $7,000 loss on selling the ring. $18,000 lesson in why you don't get cocky with conditional gifts. As for me, I'm dating someone new. Rebecca's an accountant who appreciates a man who understands tax implications. She literally laughed for 10 minutes when I told her this story. You issued her a 1099. That's the most beautifully petty thing I've ever heard. It wasn't petty. It was legal compliance. She kissed me. God, you're such a nerd. I love it. We're taking things slow, but at least I know if we ever get engaged and it doesn't work out, she understands the tax code. To everyone saying I went too far, she could have just returned the ring when we broke up. She chose to keep it. She chose to call it payment. She chose to put it in writing. All I did was follow the tax implications of her choices. And before anyone asks, yes, this is all legal. Yes, the IRS really did make her pay. And yes, I sleep great at night. The moral of the story, if you're going to be entitled enough to keep a $25 engagement ring as payment, make sure you understand tax law first. Or better yet, just don't be a jerk about breakups. Return the ring, move on with dignity, and nobody has to involve the IRS. But Brittany had to learn that the hard way. Oh, and Brittany, if you're reading this, and I know you are because Rebecca told me you stalked her LinkedIn. Bradley's mom called me last week. Turns out you tried the same keeping expensive jewelry as payment thing with him. He dumped you via email and specifically cited tax liability concerns. Maybe it's time to change your strategy. Just a thought.